Hello Internet, welcome back to Tromsø Twilight, the channel where I, Vincent, talk to you, the universe, about books, movies, music I enjoy, find interesting, or a combination of the two. Today we will be talking about Guillermo del Toro's 2025 Frankenstein movie and the reasons why I do not like this film at all. Those who watch my channel will know that I generally try to be enthusiastic about things. I'm not really interested normally in being super critical and negative about stuff, so I'd like to begin with what is successful about Del Toro's Frankenstein adaptation. In this film, Oscar Isaac plays Victor Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi plays Frankenstein's creation, Christopher Waltz plays a character called Harlander, who is basically new for this iteration, and Mia Goth plays Elizabeth, Frankenstein's beloved, although in this case, actually his brother William, Frankenstein's betrothed fiance. All of these four actors that I mentioned are fantastic in the film. Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein has this smouldering intensity. Jacob Elordi, this is the best I've ever seen him. The way that he carries his body, he does some great physical acting, he does some very, very expressive facial work. And Mia Goth is brilliant as always. This film also has some very moving moments. One example is towards the end of the film when, as you will know, I'm going to assume that you know the story of Frankenstein. When Victor and the monster meet, or the creature meet in this iteration, it's a kind of reconciliation. And this is quite a moving scene. It's really quite intensely emotional. There are a couple of earlier scenes too, where, for example, Victor has decided to destroy his creation, and he sets fire to the building in which the creation is chained in the basement, and you hear the creature scream Victor's name, which is the only word he knows. And in this moment, Victor feels some remorse and turns back. Very moving moment. Another is when the creature first confronts Victor when he's learnt how to speak, and he comes and he demands that he be given a companion so that he's not alone in this world, since he cannot die. That brings us basically to all of the successful moments of the film. The problem with this is that every single time this film won me back, it undercut it immediately. Now, I'll give you some examples of how. When Victor hears the creature scream his name and feels remorse over having tried to burn him alive, he returns to the house, opens the door, and flames come out of the house so he can't enter it, which could be a dramatic moment, except that this is a massive tongue of flames that kind of leaps out of the house and goes for, I don't know, half a mile, throwing Victor through the air. The ending of the movie with this very moving reconciliation is undercut immediately afterwards by the monster using superhuman strength to release a boat from the ice. The part in the middle of the movie where the creation comes and confronts his creator is followed by a stupid and strange series of events that I'll discuss in more detail. Not least the fact that Elizabeth is inexplicably horny for the creature or in love with him, and without any apparent reason to have these intense romantic feelings towards him. And you might ask, why would Elizabeth be in love with the creature? And I think the answer from this can be found in a quote that I remember reading from the early 2000s when Del Toro made the Hellboy movie. And he said, "I made this movie for everyone who has ever been a son or a father, which I guess is the whole world's population." And I remember thinking, really, Del Toro? Because it seems like that definition of the world's population excludes a certain number of people. It might be that there are some people alive who have not been a son or a father. But let's just say that we ignore the completely implausible, slightly ridiculous turn of events that Elizabeth is horny for the creation, and just look at the fact that Elizabeth is played by Mia Goth and the creation is played by Jacob Elordi, and yet there's still no sexual tension and it's not remotely erotic. Let's return to that tongue of flames flying out of the house when Victor comes to release the creation. This kind of encapsulates two major issues with this film. One is that it has horrible CGI all over it. Like, it reminds me of Harry Potter or the new Wednesday series on Netflix. It has this horrible synthetic surface level gothic aesthetic, which at the same time is horribly clean because it's all computer drawn. Because of this, the rules of physics just don't apply. Like, when the monster first turns up, he just throws humans all over the show like he's John Wick, and the whole thing is this big kind of action sequence. Brings me to the second part of my criticism of the aesthetics of this film. This film's aesthetics are very, very action movie heavy. Like, I don't think Del Toro can make good films. I think Pan's Labyrinth is terrible. The only film I've ever seen by him that I actually enjoyed is Pacific Rim, and that's because Pacific Rim is a stupid film where massive lizards and huge robots beat each other up. And I really think that that is where Del Toro excels, is in idiotic macho action sequences. But they really are not appropriate to Frankenstein in general, and certainly not to Del Toro's iteration of this film, because Del Toro has tried to make a film that is about intergenerational trauma. His version of Frankenstein is that Victor was abused by his father, who was not caring towards him or his mother. So when Victor creates his creation, he is not able to bond with him. Victor Frankenstein apparently has attachment issues, and he can't bond with his offspring, and so he is petulant and punishing towards the creature, who consequently does not learn language and is traumatized from birth. And the whole movie is all about sons and fathers again, and about intergenerational trauma. And this brings me to my biggest dislike with this film, which is that the huge strengths of the Frankenstein myth, and especially the novel, lie in the way that it describes or presents a man who, through ambition, breaks the rules of nature or existence, and in doing so is immediately horrified by what he's done. So from the moment he's confronted with his creature, he casts him out. He cannot relate to or accept the results of his inhuman ambition to be like a god. And the creature then is alone, and like in Paradise Lost, he becomes vengeful. And so the entire book stages a question about what is right, what is wrong. It talks about the point at which science kind of pushes over a boundary. Neither the creature nor Victor are wholly morally defensible, but neither of them are truly evil. In this film, the creature cannot do a single thing wrong until the end of the narrative, which, okay, is the beginning of the film where he's throwing people around like John Wick. Prior to that, everything the creature does is like pure at heart. And it's only Victor who is villainous. So the entire moral discussion and the ambiguity and what makes the story interesting is removed in the service of a totally good versus evil, whitewashed Catholic or Christian version of this movie. Or alternatively, if you don't like my Christian analogy, you could just say that this is supremely American, which is interesting given that Del Toro is originally from Mexico. This film is absolutely insistent on who is good, who is bad, what is right, what is wrong, and removes any interesting discussion from the equation, to the point that, in case you didn't get it, at one point in the film, somebody looks Victor in the eyes and says, "You are the monster," just in case the audience hadn't fucking figured it out yet. Likewise, about this obviousness of this film, the original novel is called Frankenstein or a Modern Prometheus, which is the story of Prometheus who steals fire from the gods and is punished forever. This created, invented character of Harlander repeatedly refers to the Promethean myth. Twice, maybe three times in the film, very directly describes Victor as Prometheus, even though in the movie, Victor's crime is not transgressing against God's law. It is the fact that he was not nice to the creature. Essentially, then, this film removes all the interesting moral ambiguity and all the thematics of the film, leaves only the shell of the movie, which it turns into an ugly, overly ornate CGI horror show filled with the most insultingly obvious themes and ideas. And all you are left with that you can admire is the fantastic performances of 4 actors who were totally wasted. That's my review of Del Toro's Frankenstein movie. Do not let him get a hold of Jekyll and Hyde. It will be like in that fucking Wednesday series where Hyde is like the size of a house and he's tearing around, ripping people's throats out, but he's actually the good guy or something. If you like this movie, please do let me know why. I don't like to ruin things that people enjoy. I'm quite open for the idea that some other people think this film was actually good. In fact, several people whose opinions I respect did enjoy the movie, but this is just my personal viewpoint, and I love the novel. Like, maybe a top 5 novel for me, so that possibly is, I may not be the best audience for this film. Okay, thanks for listening. See you again soon.